Oh, lopchula chashidele, tene gen la chashidele, kusu debu imbela.
Oh, testele Cindy-la, ane. Lobru soyang testele yu. Ane nga tebu yin, Cindy-ya tebu yin be.
La ingen la tujise.
Laso.
We are here to introduce you to your last lesson. Tamare, lobsen tamare. Wow. So our last lesson that we're going to cover this in this summer program is Lobsen Chujukpa, the 16th lesson, which is about reported speech. So this is the last video you're going to get for us, and it's the video for the week 7, day 3, because day 1 is relative clauses, which you've already watched, and day 2, there's no video because we're just going to practice. So day 3 for Wednesday of the week, Wednesday the 29th. This is the subject of your lesson. So Genla first, as usual, is going to introduce you to the vocabulary for this lesson, and then we will introduce you to the structures. Lasso Genla.
Laso. Sixer logi. Laso. Then sixer lobsen chutukpa. Ne nasa tang trading kikor. Laso. We can also use nasa tang trading kikor. Okay. Then sukbo. Kusu. Shesare. Ning. Go. Wu. Diyan shesare. Dongba. Shere. Okay, here one thing is this very similar to the draw. We just like say go, just cut. Okay, for the head we use go. The difference of the draw and head is this is the different pronunciation. Okay, go, and then for the draw we say go. Okay. Tene dongba, shere, shesare, lakpa, cha, shesa, gangba, shap, shesa, chogo, ani synonym choba, with not very common, but chogo is much common. Also, gelba, men, sumen, shesa, treden, neba, su, ma, cha. Tenengan su genzi, ni jikbo du, genzi ni jikbo, ju chenbo, dukja. Okay. Also dukcha. Tene chazi, mg10. Okay. Menju che, cha. Cawabar, chambajab, oh, lasso, tene sarsung. Here for the MG, then we can also use memba ten. Okay, memba is a real Tibetan word, but MG, yeah, word. MG is not Tibetan. Is we borrowed from Mongolia. So Mongolian people say MG for the doctor. Lasso tene tasung sindiela. Senta mixa dish.
Lasso Genla touché. So then I'm going to share my screen.
알았어.
Okay. Lasso.
디스코와 시디아 된다 통금인도.
Ah, le lasso. Tissa. Tuje tis gorgire.
알았어.
랩송해?
단달래 마수.
kin sarashigdo. Okay, yanket go tsugi.
직신당에 디 욕다이나.
Samcham cheng sampala kalma kashe gorgi yusare. Degido.
라스타.
Yanker go tsukson.
라스. 다 용도 지기도.
It's coming. We're
그래.
hoping. Men
라스.
Mendoga.
직신나디 사자타르 무라데 아리니 바유바디 용고라. 달랩성.
랩송해. Ale.
Yes.
Tuje kase korso. Le lepsonge. Lasso. Peapo. Gela is saying that it probably took a long time to arrive from the US to Nepal. This is how our internet connection has been in the past couple of months. Lasso. So we're introducing you to Lobsen Chutuk, or Chutuk Pa, as we nominalize it, the 16th lesson on the reported speech. So in this lesson, we're introducing you to three kinds of
디스코와 양 고금인도.
again la.
다 고기도 신디야라. 게 디스 캠라디 업체 샤고라.
Lasso.
라소
Lasso.
숭로나.
So, lasso touché. So we have three kinds of reported speech that we're going to introduce you to. The first one is what we're calling the direct reported speech, which is a direct speech between a person and whoever that person was talking to. And the reporter is just reporting that. So for example, I can report to you, Genla said, I will teach Tibetan next semester. When I say that, it's exactly the words, word for word, what Genla said. Now, there's another way to make that into what we call the indirect or hybrid reported speech, which is Genla said that he will teach Tibetan next semester or next month or something like that. Then that becomes indirect reported speech or what we call hybrid. And then there's another formula, the third one, which is gossip. We're not really sure who said what to whom, and it doesn't really matter, but it's just reporting a speech that was somehow kind of going out there. So first, before we begin, we'd like to introduce you to some verbs of speech. And you're going to see that that's the first part of your handout, is that we have now the forms that are in the honorific and in the humilific. What does that mean? Honorific is shesa, which you already know, is the respectful forms that we are using when we address people that we want to show more respect towards or more deference or reverence. And then humilific is maybe something we've spoken about, but briefly in the class. Shu, or in the past tense, shu, would be the humilific that we're going to use in terms of verbs of speech, which means I said, or I asked to somebody to whom I'm showing more respect towards. So if I'm talking to Genla and I'm doing everything that I'm saying to him is in the honorific, and I want to show that kind of a connection where I'm putting him in a higher status than myself, then everything directing him was going to be used in the shesa, in the honorific, and everything about myself, whether I said or I requested or I asked, is going to be in a more humble position. That's why it's called humilific. So especially when we are reporting speech that was said to a Rinpoche or somebody like that, that has a lot of authority and that we're respecting, then shu is very appropriate to use. Okay, so we lap, which means to say, shu, which is the humilific of to say. Okay, so I would say nye shubayin, I said. And then we have she, which you already know, which is the verb to speak or to explain. And the honorific of she is sung, right? So I'm giving you the spelling of the present and future and the past tense as you've already received in your charts. And then we have kecha ti, which is, or just ti, which is to ask a question. And then the humilific of to ask a question is kandishu. So if I want to report that I asked a question to Rinpoche about a specific practice text, then I'll say kandishu bayin. Okay. And then if Rinpoche asked me a question, then I'm going to say Rinpoche ki kandi nang chung. Okay. Rinpoche asked the question. So the nang is the honorific and the shu is the humilific. Okay, so this is an important first thing. So you can read the little footnote that I've written on the bottom of the page. Direct reported speech does something?
La.
Shuya yube digi korla.
Ale. The kantinang the kanti shoot is something. The kantinang is like a triangle. The higher position to lower, and the kanti shoe is from lower position to higher. So this is different. So
oh, that's
kanti.
a very nice way to say it.
Yeah, because before we had one teacher. His name is you know, something like Cynthia that he used to teach in the University of Virginia. Chetan Chenjo.
I know him.
Yeah. So he taught us like this triangle about this, especially this part. Yeah, my pen is not working. This I have a one pen here.
Karpang me be.
Karpang me.
Oh.
So it's like this. So you see here. So Kandi now is like a higher position to lower position. And the Kandi shoe is goes to from lower position to higher position. He gave a like this shape, and then Kandi now is goes from higher position to lower, and then Kandi shoe is goes to lower position to higher. So this is the difference.
Very nice, Genla. That makes it super clear. Thank you. Students, keep that in mind. Genla is being very, very kind to share that with you. It's true. It's true. It's from me to higher and from higher to lower. So now the direct reported speech does not require a lot of explanation. It's very straightforward. So there's a formula for all of these that you can simply memorize to help you remember. Every time that you are stating who the speaker is, you need to use the agentive particle. The agentive particle will clarify who the speaker is. So that's what we mean by source. Source followed by key, and then goal followed by la. Goal is the person to whom that speech was directed. And then the direct quote exactly as the person said it. And then we have se, which is, se is a particle in classical Tibetan, which is the equivalent of the quotation marks, okay? That in English and in most Western languages, it is used to show when a citation is there, the actual speech of the person. And then you need a verb of speech, one of the ones we've introduced you before, and your verbal auxiliaries to conjugate in the present, past, or the future, all right? So let's just look at the examples straight away. So Genla, now it's your turn, please.
라서 티체로 땅로나 티체
이 있어요.
빼야부터 라서 라서 겐라키 롭죽초 nga lamsang chu yong bi yin se sung song. Okay.
Okay, so that's very straightforward. Who spoke? The teacher. To whom? To the students. Loptruk and the ra is the la, showing the goal. And then what he actually said, his actual speech was nga lamsang tsu yonggi yin. And then se is again closing the quotations. You open them with the connected agentive particle, and you close them with the quotation mark with the se, and then verb of speech. So you'll see in these examples that what is highlighted is the direct speech as the person said it.
맞소. 되네. 콩키 nga chongba means lapchung.
Same. So he says to us, the village is over there. He says, or he is saying to us in this moment. Okay.
라서 되네. Okay, here when we read, many people just say they pronounce just kind of like not clearly say the say, but of course we can say also clearly say is also fine. So there are two way of pronounce. So some people, let me read again. Kongki ngala nga chongba means lapchung, kind of like means lapchung. Okay, but we can also say kongki ngala nga chongba means lapchung, means lapchung. So either one is fine. Also, this is also very common. Okay. Then next is kongki ngansola chongsi pagi. Cynthia, dinala laji chesha. Konda chongsi pagi la.
Lasso. Re. We forgot it because we took the ra.
Re. 다 된다 양 this 타와야 보면 도와.
아카.
랩송.
라sso.
콩키 ngansola chongse pagila yorese sungkitu. 라sso.
So he says to us, or he is saying to us, so I said it at the beginning, but I'm going to say it again. He says to us, or he is saying to us, the village is.
라서 되네. 림포체 ngala kerang trupto marese sungchung. Okay, some people also pronounce rimpoche ngala kerang trupto mares sungchung. Okay, there are two way of pronounce.
I personally really like this. It makes me feel like I'm a snake. And actually, it's really nice. I always like to tell the students, it's very nice when you hear this, when somebody's speaking, because then it makes it clear that it's not your speech. You know, it's not the person speaking, it's somebody else. So it's a very honest way of actually letting you know that whatever is being said is a quotation. So, okay, so how do we translate that? Who is the speaker? Is Rinpoche. To whom did Rinpoche speak? To me, Ngala. How do I know also Ngala? Ngala could be put in brackets because we have Chung. So Chung is always Ngala, okay? And then Kierang Druptop Mare. Druptop is the word that means Siddha, an accomplished Vajrayana practitioner, a yogi type of a practitioner. So yeah, that's what the sentence means. Lasso.
Dene Tsirinki Ngala Nge Longniente Te Mes Lapchung. Okay, so this here is like use mes yins is that is more easy to say. Okay, for re is res tes kalekamutu. So here
Yes.
we can pronounce sirinki ngala nge longyen te mes lapchung. Or sirinki ngala nge longyen te mes lapchung. You can also pronounce the full sound of se. Is either one is fine. Okay, which one is easy for you? You can use. Also, the s is also very common. That's all.
Mm. So now we come to hybrid or the indirect reported speech. This is when we are modifying a little bit what the person is saying. And in Tibetan, it is quite interesting, to say the least. So, in English, what is indirect tense? Direct reported speech is, if you can follow along with me, he said, I am a doctor. This is direct reported speech. Now, indirect or hybrid is, he said he was a doctor, or he said he is a doctor. Okay, so then we are changing the pronouns. He is I in the direct, and in indirect, he and he are the same. Okay, but was is also there as a verb auxiliary. So we are putting here very clearly what is direct and what is hybrid. Okay. He said to me, you are not a doctor, is direct reported speech. And he told me I wasn't a doctor, is hybrid reported speech. Now, in Tibetan, hybrid reported speech is formed in the following way. All pronouns, nouns, and verbs are changed to suit the speaker's current situation. For example, Rinpoche said, I am not going. It becomes Rinpoche said, he's not going. So I is changed into he. Going is changed into the honorific form. So there's going to be a lot of variation. And then second of all, the auxiliary verb in the quotation is left unchanged. Why? This is to reflect that the speaker, when speaking about him or herself, was using a dak auxiliary, like chung or payin, and it is still used in our hybrid rendering, despite the fact that the subject of the sentence is now he rather than I. So then the subject and the verb will no longer agree in terms of person, which might be a little strange. So we're going to have something like Kong zhu gi yin. We know that Kong and gi yin usually don't go together, but now it's going to go because of the reported speech. So if the sentence contains co-referential pronouns or nouns, one is dropped. For example, he said, I am not a businessman. He and I refers to the same person, is when the person is talking about themselves. Therefore, a lot of times they're going to be dropped. It depends, though, how clear you want to be. So this depends on the speaker, and it depends on the situation. Genla and I, when we were putting this information together for you, we were discussing that a lot of times certain things could be quite unclear in Tibetan, and therefore we need the extra help of a different particle or something so that we make things more clearly. So you will see in a moment. So there's a modified quotation with an unmodified auxiliary plus se plus. Can you see the examples, Genla?
That's all. Genla ki kongzula kong lamsang chu peki yin se sung sung.
So who's speaking and to whom? There's a lot of things happening here. The speaker is Genla. We have the agentive particle here. Kongtola is showing to whom the teacher was speaking. And we have Sung Sung. We know that this happened in the past tense. And then the actual thing that was said is here. But now it is a modified quotation. Kong lam sang tsur pep gi yin. We have Kong and we have gi yin. So he is talking about himself because of the gi yin. And the pep is me, the reporter, who is adding it to show respect to the person. that spoke. So this is translated as the teacher said to them that, we can add the that, it is optional, that she will be right back. Said to them that she would be or will be right back. Okay, so all of the variations are happening in this sentence. This is quite an elaborate sentence. And to tell you the truth, most Tibetans won't really say this sentence because it's too elaborate. They will actually give the short version of this, which is coming next, which is what Genla is going to read for you.
라서 콩 람상 추 패기 인세 숭숭.
So this is the short version. She said she will be.
디스코와 신디야 단다 거기면도 신디야기 계속 고마소.
Tanda kogiduga again.
나 단다 거기도.
Oh,
Lasso.
so actually, we were saying that actually sometimes this could be a little bit unclear because it is based on the situation and the context. So Genla was just saying, be very precise. The sentence above will be a lot more direct. Genla, do you want to say something about this? Do you do?
Yeah, the first part, Genlaki, Konsola, can you share me that? This Matangrona. Ore, Genlaki, Konsola, Kong Lamsang Chu Pepki Yinse Sung Sung. Tsigrup di be separate, the hybrid, indirect is very clear. Because I'm the reporter that I heard that teacher said to whom? To them, right? To them. But here in the short form, Kong Lam Sang Chu Pepki Yins Sung Sung because of song, and then it's a little bit unclear who said. Okay, it's a little bit unclear whether Genla said, whether Rinpoche said, whether my friend said. It's a little unclear, but if there's a context, if and then it's clear because it's depend on the context. Suppose Cynthia said, "Oh, Genla katu yonkire." Okay, Genla katu yonkire. The when teacher will come, and then I say, "Oh, Kong Lam Sang Chu Pepki Yinse Sung Sung," and then it's clear, right? And then that means I'm the reporter. I heard that teacher said to maybe some man. Here is also not clear. Maybe to the student that he will come back soon. Okay, Lamsang is like immediately or right very soon. Okay, Lamsang is right back or immediately. So it's depend on the context, and then lots of Tibetans use this way, shortcut way. Lasso. Tene Kong MG yin slapsung. Okay, Kong MG yin slapsung.
And so we can translate this as he told me he's a doctor. So this is a lot more simple. Kong and Yin are the and MG. He's just saying what he or she is. And Chung, we know he's talking to me or she's talking to me. So this is clear. Here, there's no confusion.
라서 콩기 nga MG 말에서 숭충.
This is he or she told me that I am not a doctor. So again, here there's no confusion because we have the agentive particle, so we know who spoke, which is he or she. And whom did he or she speak to? To me because of chung. And then nga is I, the reporter. This is you have to be very careful about not confusing here. Nga doesn't mean Kong. It's not he talking about himself. He's talking about me, the reporter. So I am nga. Nga amchi. And why? You have to think of the original direct speech of the person. What is that the person said originally? He said, Konki kirang emchi mares. That's what the person said. Kirang amchi mare, right? That's the direct, exact speech of the person. Now, when I transform kirang emchi mare into hybrid, kirang becomes nga because I'm the one who's speaking. But mare remains the speech of Kong about me. So that is the only difficulty really about this topic is this. I'll say it one more time. Kong Ki is the speaker. Nga is me, the reporter. And mare is still referring to me, the reporter, because Kong Ki, the one who spoke, said mare in his or her original speech, which was Kirang amchi mare. So Kirang is I. Okay? Keep that in mind. Lasso.
Lasso. Kong Chongba means lapchung. This
So this means 동기두개?
Tanda tiskuwa. Lasso. Kong Chongba means lapchung.
Okay, so this means he told me he is not a businessman. So mean are the same, okay? Because his original speech was not sompa min. This is what original the person said. And chung, we know he or she spoke to me. Lasso?
Lasso. Tine Rinpoche nga trupto marese sungchung.
So this says, Rinpoche told me I am not a Siddha, told me I am not a Siddha, or if it's easier for you to understand, that I am not a Siddha. So again, it's the same as in the sentence above. There's an agentive particle showing that Rinpoche is the speaker. Nga is I, the reporter. Mare is, again, what did Rinpoche said in his original speech? Kerang juptop mare. So now when I transform it into hybrid, Kerang becomes Nga, and mare stays. So that's why. Lasso?
Lasso tene sirinki kongki longniente te mes lapchung.
Sering said he hasn't seen that movie. So here to make it very clear, Serinki is the speaker and Konki refers again to himself. And then why do we say it again so that it's very clear? And Konki goes with me because in his original speech, he said, Nye longniente te me. So we keep the original auxiliary, but we have to say Kong because we're talking about himself. This Konki here, it makes it all very clear. And then who did he say to? To Chung, to I. Okay.
So here we can also can take out Konki or Tsirinki. So also is possible. We can also say Tsirinki longniente te mes lapsum or Konki longniente te mes lapsum because Tsiring and the Kong is equal, the same person. Yeah. So we can do also like this because but this is gives to clear because Tsiring said and then the real original is the direct is nge longniente te mes. So nge turn into like kongi, right? Is from the reporter's perspective, right? Kongi longniente te mes. So so we can skip kongi longniente te mes lapchung, or we can skip tsiring longniente te mes lapchung. because Siring and Kong is the just same person. Okay. Tene Rinpoche Pepki Yin se Sung Chung.
So this is very clear. Rinpoche and Yin, Yin is the same. So Rinpoche is speaking about him or herself, and Pep is I, the reporter, showing respect. So Rinpoche said that he or she will come. And said to me, told me, maybe it's better, told me that, there we go. Okay. Take some time to digest this. Is a lot. You can read this. No, I've already. There's one last version of reported speech, which is called hearsay, which is really reporting something, and we're not really sure who said it to whom. It's more a little bit like gossip or words that are not very precise. Okay, so it's really when reporting third-hand information. So here you don't have to worry about anything. And there's a formula. We're using now a way we can get rid of the verb of speech and say sa without any verb of speech or any conjugation, because since it's not clear who spoke to whom anyway, we don't need to bother about using verb of speech. So this is the most common form that is used in daily speech by Tibetans in exile and everywhere. So yes, Genla, we're ready for you.
So, Kong me yakbo yoresa.
So this means they say that he's a good guy. So I have no idea if he's a good guy or not, but that's what word on the street is, that he is a good guy. Okay? So kong mi yakbo yore, as you would make a general normal sentence, and then you add the sa to indicate that that's what people are saying somewhere. So
Tene pela drupu mangbo yoresa.
They say there are many meditation caves in Tibet. So again, this is information that I'm hearing out there. I'm not sure who's saying it. Okay. So let's compare these sentences. Kong jogi yinsa. Kong jogi yin
laso.
Laso genla.
That tigitu tonggitu.
Laso. So let's compare Kong jogi yinsa or Kong pebgi yin se sungchung or Kong pebgi yin sungchung versus Kong pebgi resa. Okay, so I was telling you that the sa is very common to use it and to drop verbs of speech, but it's really informal. So when we say Kong jogi yinsa, it means he told me he's going or he will be going somewhere. But I'm saying that between peers, family members, very, very informal. If I'm talking to Rinpoche or to my Genla, to someone that I'm really respecting, the sa is not so appropriate. So it's not formal. So then I will have to say, Kong pebgi yin se sunchong. He told me that he is going. And then we would use the hybrid form to make it very nice. But then if I say Kong pebgi resa, if I use the re here, the shen, with Kong, which is shen, then this is hearsay. This is, they say that here's going, meaning I don't know who is saying and why, and I don't have a lot of information. It's just what I'm hearing. Okay, so this is really important to know that it is hearsay because of the ending verb, the re here. Here, because we have yin, we know that it's hybrid. I hope this makes sense. Right, Genla? Do you want to add something to it?
Yeah. So here, Kong jogi yin sa. So this is informal, but it's very common. Also, this is hybrid, right? Indirect. So if it like direct and hybrid, as in hybrid is very common than direct in the Tibetans. Tibetans use hybrid a lot than direct.
Exactly. A lot more. Okay. In English also, it's the same.
Oh, Lasso. So here for the friend, like family members, just for friend, and then the sa is very easy. Then we say Kong drogi yin se lapchung kong drogi yin se lapsong but kong drogi yin sa is very easy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Kong pepki yin se songjung. This is also we can use for the lamas, rinpoches, as we say. And then kong pepki resa is just here say. Yeah. Lasso.
At a delay.
La.
Can you? Oh, we had a delay. I was speaking when you were, I think. But I said everything I had to say.
Oh, lasso. Lasso.
Kirang sarsong yana shuya yubegen la.
Charsong.
Oh, lasso lupchuk. So sorry that at the end the connection was a little bit slow. Questions arise. This topic requires a lot of practice, and you might not have a whole lot of time to practice. So be patient with yourselves, and in the future you will get it more and more refined. Okay. So thank you all so much for having watched all of our lessons and for being with us all this semester. Enjoy, and we look forward to seeing you these last few days in class. Tujushe genla.
So ane notebook so just delay ane sanyi jeyong. Cynthia sanyi jeyong. Konda jeyong. Raba.
Timchanango lazo gonda jeyong. Taktare lazo. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Shugo.